You're welcome back from that quick timeout. It's still daybreak here on Trust Television. If you're just joining us, well, sad to say you've missed a lot because we've had lots of insightful and educative conversation here on the show this morning. But it's actually towards the tail end of the program, and we'll be looking at the stories that made it to the front page of the newspapers this morning. Now, starting off with Daily Trust newspaper, we have right there bold: Borno flood, over 30 confirmed dead, 1 million affected. And on the top left, key takeaways from Harris-Trump debate. More troops in Zamfara, Sturge's 30 million naira levy deadline elapses. Afenifere, Gani Adams criticized Tinubu over hardship. You know, on just below the headline there, it said food shortage hits Maiduguri, 719 rescued from rooftops and trees, trapped patients, residents seek urge assistance, and federal government offers 3 billion naira support. On the bottom left, only 32 officers policing 200 villages in Katsina, says Rada. Innocent unveils first locally produced electric vehicle. Nigeria records 6.94 trillion naira surpluses. Foreign trade hits 31.89 trillion naira. And down there we have 694 die of Lassa fever, cholera, diphtheria in 8 months. This we have on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper right there. All right, now moving on to Guardian newspaper. Moving on to Guardian newspaper there. Amid lean resources, federal government spends 131 billion naira subsidizing VIPs protection yearly. This we have there on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Also there on the Guardian we have bureaucracy, how not to promote child adoption policy. On election, Obaseki downbeat on signing peace accord as Edo-Guba tensions heighten. NCDC confirms 67 Mpox cases, 982 Lassa fever cases, 168 deaths. And on economy, depreciation weakens, importers' trade surplus hits 6.95 trillion naira in second quarter. Court grants 10 end bad governance protesters 10 million naira bail. And LG polls NPP kicks as 20 aspirants failed drug test in Kano. All right, that we have on the front page of Guardian newspaper. And on Punch, in the top left, we have how government spend 50 billion naira excess crude funds, says NESG. We also have marketers, refiners demand total subsidy removal. What do they stand to gain? All right, on student loan beneficiaries lament delayed allowance. Hunger protesters get 100 million bail barred from further demonstrations. And FG to register untitled lands. Aside the issue of Borno flood with 1 million persons affected and 414,000 displaced. Death toll hits 30. Victims sleep on streets. Nima opens 9 IDP camps. Bayelsa flooded after downpour. This we have on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Now let's quickly look at Vanguard. Well, on Vanguard this morning, protect the poor from impact of petrol hike, it says IVIF to the federal government. On the top left, court grants 10 and bad governance protest bill. Very seen that in other papers. Borno flood, we are still trapped, can't access work, business, places as well. I think we have this and all other stories right there on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. So joining us right here in the studio to look at the stories on the front page of the papers and to give us his opinion on it, we have Nasir Lawal, Editor-in-Chief, Dateline newspaper, to join us and review some of the headlines. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Thank you. All right, now let's talk about the flood. And I'd love to link it to this story on Daily Trust. I said 694 die of Lassa fever, cholera, diphtheria in 8 months. We have this that we've been struggling with, and we're seeing flood in Borno with over 30 confirmed dead and, people affected. We saw stories yesterday that spoke about how corpses have been exhumed, animals have been let free from the zoo and they are moving. Lassa fever comes from rats and animals. So what's your take on, what just take on the potential health risks we're seeing with this flooding that's happening in Borno at the moment?
Well, I think we are still yet to see the real impact of the flood in Borno. I'm not saying that what has happened is not serious enough, but what I'm trying to say is by the time you have, the waters receding completely, that's when we begin to know exactly what actually happened. Because we tend to have problem with, collection of data in Nigeria. Right now, we are not even talking about the losses, in monetary terms. By the time the waters recede, like I said earlier, that's when you begin to know how many, maybe probably food items, how many, furniture, so many things that have been affected by this, which we are not even talking about. And the fact that we have 30 already confirmed dead, it's another pointer to the fact that by the time this thing is over, we are likely to see much more numbers, of those that actually died as a result of this incident. And then another thing is the fact that, we are also talking about Lassa fever and things that have to do with hygiene, sanitation, basically. And right now, you don't even know the amount of waste that have found their way into the people's homes and what have you. So we are likely to see a rise in cholera outbreaks, unless the government does something very seriously to stop this from happening.
All right. That's something that we believe the government will be proactive enough when that time comes to look into, probably vaccinate where necessary, and provide certain amenities that would elevate and help the people where necessary. But this story on Turji, more troops in Zamfara, Turji's 30 million naira levy deadline elapses. We've seen bandits put levies on communities. We've seen community members hassling to pay that money, even going as far as borrowing money from their family members to pay the levy. What's your take on how much hold this will have on communities, despite the news and reports coming out every day that there's a fight against insurgency going and telling us that, progress is being made? What's your take on all this whole, contradicting information we have out there?
Well, I also believe that we are making some progress, but the fact is the progress we are making, and if you look at the magnitude of the problem we are having, it pales into some insignificance, so to say, because when you have so many communities, and even the fact that people tend to believe the terrorists, they no longer have confidence in the government. Anytime the terrorists tell you not to do something and you make the mistake of doing it, there is always a consequence. And anytime the government tells you not to do the things that these bandits are telling you to do, and you do exactly as the government says, there is also consequences. So the government, or rather the security agencies, should worry, because right now people tend to fear the bandits, the criminals, more than they fear even the state authorities, who have, by law, have the right to even bear these arms and what have you. So right now, when you talk about Turji, honestly, my problem is we have succeeded in making him like a superstar, somebody that we can go after. Nigerian military, Nigerian security agents, they have made their mark even across the globe. But here we are, just somebody that has not even undergone any sort of training, now holding complete, total communities, to ransom, because we have failed, to do all these things that we are expected to do. That's to keep the community safe, to allow the people do their normal businesses.
All right. The fact that the people have lost confidence in the security agencies speaks a lot as to the government's promise to protect lives and properties. And the people are wondering, why would we trust you to protect us when bandits are attacking, we don't see you there? And this brings me to our next story, which is, probably linked to the story that is on the front page of The Guardian as well. On Daily Trust, we're seeing only 32 officers policing 200 villages in Katsina. Meanwhile, on The Guardian, the police have come out to say, amid lean resources, federal government spends 131 billion naira subsidizing VIPs protection yearly. And it says there, of the 400,000 policemen in the country, 150,000 officers are attached to VIPs and unauthorized person. What does this have to say about our supposed fight against insecurity and the police is your friend and are there to protect when we don't even have enough guarding villages where necessary?
Well, to start with the Katsina story, I don't think it's a very good thing, even though it's quite alarming, the fact that the governor is coming out to say it. Probably he's frustrated. He has tried all, the possible means to get this to the attention of the relevant authorities, and probably he's not making any headway. And now he's going public with this information. But if you are telling all these bandits that, 200 villages, you have only 5 serviceable guns, only 32 policemen. It's like telling them that anytime you feel like going into these communities, you can actually go there. I know that's not the intention of the governor, but that's another thing that is likely to happen. And then for the amount of money we are spending, protecting VIPs, honestly, if we can succeed in fixing the economy, we wouldn't need to spend, all this amount. We wouldn't even be having our officials, moving about with this retinue of security agents. Fix the economy, and you are likely to have, a respite from that. And then for the number you are talking about, every IG in Nigeria, once he's appointed, the first thing he will tell you is, I'm going to withdraw policemen from the services of VIPs and what have you. But they have a way of, getting you to eat your own words. So I think we should make it, follow up on it this time around to make sure that the security agents that we have, we are deploying them to places where they are necessary instead of going about with all VIPs all over the place.
All right, now quickly before we go, we have actually gradually run out of time. Innocent unveils first locally produced electric vehicle. Innocent, would you say he's underrated in Nigeria? I mean, we're seeing that he's rolling out electric vehicles, he's producing made in Nigerian vehicles, and the partnership with the federal government is not as strong as it should be. What's your take on our attitude towards supporting, locally produced products here in Nigeria?
Well, I think we should encourage him because I know sometimes it's very difficult for those in authority to do that because they are always looking at what is in there for me to get. So they will prefer bringing in people from outside where they can get their own cut from, whatever money they're able to make. But this is a local company, and I think we should do very well to support him, because when we do that, we will succeed in reducing the amount of the demand we have for foreign currencies and what have you, which right now is actually hitting our economy very bad.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Nasir Lawal, for joining us. It's always an insightful session here with you on Trust TV's Newspaper Review every Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And to our viewers at home, thank you very much for sticking around with us for the last 2 hours. It's been great to have you. It's been great to hear your opinion in the interactive session and in the discussion section. I hope you were able to take something home with you today. Well, it's still daybreak, and we're wrapping up here. Top of the hour, we'll have Ajushafe bringing you sport news, and then we'll have business and the news. So stick around because we still have a lot more. From here at the studios, my name is Lilian Ogazi. God bless Nigeria, and do the right thing as a Nigerian out there today. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.